Good evening. It is 1852 Galactic time. I thought I'd jump on and do a bit of a video because I've been, over the weekend, aside from some occasional skimmer missions, I have been gathering materials and data for upgrading my federal gunship to sort of update it from the old style engineering system. So what it does is when you say update to the new system, it drops you down a grade 4. However, I encountered a problem. I'd got all of the materials I thought I'd need, but I tried to upgrade and it said you can't, your reputation is grade 3 and these are grade 5 weapons, so you can't update them. And it's the only weapon that I got on the ship, or the only one that I needed upgraded by the engineer, so I couldn't just remove it and put another one on, because then I'd lose the upgrade I had. So I started to look into this, asked on Reddit, and a few people said basically you've got to regain the reputation with the engineer back up to grade 5. So that would mean potentially either taking a donor ship with some random weapons on, or swapping weapons out on this ship and upgrading them just to get the reputation back, and then I can continue to upgrade any other weapons that I might need. However, this brew that I'm at now, I've only got one pulse laser on the gunship, so it's basically we've got to strip that off, put another one on, and upgrade it. And that led me to a further discovery in that I didn't have a lot of the materials for the lower grade upgrades. So, for example, I'm going for overcharged, oversized is what I aim to put on the ship. So pulse laser overcharged grade 1 is nickel. You need 1 nickel. I didn't have any. I'd used it all up in a previous set of upgrades, it would appear. Grade 2 is nickel and conductive components. Grade 3, nickel, conductive components and electrochemical arrays. Grade 4 is zinc, conductive ceramics and polymer capacitors. And grade 5 is zirconium, conductive polymers and modified embedded firmwares. So if we just have a look where I'm at, the what I basically figured out was I did a search on EDDB for materials traders near to Muang, which is the system that Brew resides in, and it said Al Kajandi Enterprise, which is in orbit. It's 145 light seconds from Brew's engineering base. So I had landed at Brew's, took off, landed here, and used the material trader. So if we just have a quick look here, I used the material trader to what was it I traded? Tellurium. So what was it? Select the material you're looking for. So I needed some zinc and some nickel, and so I can trade 2 of my telluriums for 3 zincs. Now I know I could go and mine this, but I've spent 3 days gathering resources on this, so yeah, I really didn't fancy going back and doing something else. Plus it was a 15 jump journey from Jameson's to here, because it's the furthest engineer that I need, or at least on weapons. So that got me my lower ranked materials that I needed. And if we have a quick look in here, there is what do we need? So we needed nickel. We've just seen we've got conductive components. There's a lot of conductives in weapons. And the beautiful thing is actually that overcharged pulse lasers are exactly the same upgrade path as overcharged multi-cannons. So it's the same set of components you need from grade 1 right the way through to grade 5. So yeah, let's have a look. So conductive ceramics, which I need, that's a grade 4 thing, so I've got 64 of them. I'm hoping I don't need, because I've got 7 weapons to upgrade, and I'm hoping I don't need all 64 conductive ceramics, because my thinking is with the pulse laser I'll need to upgrade from 1 to 5 again. That's a given. But with the multi-cannons, once I strip one off and upgrade that, I'll have rebuilt the reputation with that engineer back from, it's on grade 3, back to grade 5, and I should be able to update the others to grade 4, which means I'm then doing zinc conductive ceramics excuse me, and polymer capacitors. So I should be able to push through grade 4 straight into grade 5, and so that one should be a little bit easier after the first weapon replacement and upgrade. But I'll have to strip the mod off first. So what do I need to check? I need to check if Brew has a outfitter. No, I don't want to quit. What am I doing? I want galaxy map. And so this is Brew. Outfitting, yep. So he's got an outfitter. So we can go on and we can remove the mod on the pulse laser. So let us go and have a look at doing that. There he is. Yeah, it was such a letdown when I realised, oh, I can't just go, well, these are grade 5, so you obviously upgraded them, you know, the other month or you know, a couple of months ago, so you know me. He's like, no, yeah, that's fine, but you're still reputation grade 3, so no, I ain't touching them. And though it'd be nice if there was an option that says you can't go down to grade 4, however, we will let you drop it down to a grade 3 part, and you can update it over to the new system and do it that way. But there's no option for it. So I had to... There we go. I had to just figure it out. As I say, I asked on Reddit. Reddit came straight back with the good answers, and it was... There we go. It was off to the races after that.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
So I'm hoping to put the gunship back out into action. It wasn't on that planet. I thought that was a bit close for 140 something light seconds. So yeah, so it's a case of having to remove one weapon, or remove the mod of the weapon, I should say, and re-engineer from 1 to 5, and that will unlock any of the same weapon with the same engineer. As I understand it, this all could go horribly wrong, but I think I've talked it through and I've thought it through, and I think I've got it pretty much nailed down, so fingers crossed. So while we're whizzing across space, so yeah, did some skimmer missions over the weekend, as I think everybody did. Again, it was only interesting for me to get reputation in the system and then get modified embedded firmwares. I had been rallying around Dav's Hope, which is still seems active. Still was getting conductive polymers, and oh, let's just try and save having to do the loop of shame. There we go. Oh, slow down, come on, brakes on, boys. No, we're still going to overshoot. Ah, he's talking and flying. It's one or the other. Right, where are we? Hopefully it's on this side of the... Yes, it is. It's on this side of the planet, so that's good. So we'll come in, we'll drop down and then turn across the planet, so we come in at a shallow angle, because if you it's tempting just to sort of dive bomb the location, but if you do that, you drop out of glide or orbital cruise, way too early, and you've got like a 200-kilometre journey to take on. Yes, and I'm going to crash into it. Don't have to put impact up. But look at the planets though, they're much better now in this 3.0 update, or 3.02 now we're at, because there was an update that landed this morning. And it seems so much more seamless. I can remember, I mean, I know I'm playing on high now and I used to play on medium, but I don't think it, or I wasn't aware that it had affected the draw distance. But I used to see a lot of sort of mountain ranges popping in and things like that. And with this, it just seems seamless. It's so much nicer. There we go. So yeah, spent the weekend Skimmers, Dav's Hope, and the crashed Anaconda at Auraire, is it? I think it's called Auraire 2B. There's some good rare materials there. There's 3 cargo racks. There's some actual real cargo canisters of like gold and palladium and whatnot, which if you want you can have. But I was pootling around in an SRV with very little in the way of cargo space on the ship, so ended up ignoring the cargo entirely, because money's not an issue for me at the moment in game. It's 3.7 billion I've got. I had 3.5 before skimmer mission, so that tells you how little I actually made over a weekend with it. But yeah, it was a case of going around to these 3 cargo racks, picking up. There we go. So going through to the 3 cargo racks. There's one at the top of the hill, one halfway down the hill, and one at the bottom by the ship. And you shoot the cargo rack, and the material pops out. And I was getting zirconium, I was getting ruthenium, I think it is. And they're all, you know, top end, super rare stuff. And yeah, it's good because I've got enough now that, because I knew the grade 5 upgrades were going to be risky, so I need a lot of them. And the ability to then trade some down if I needed to other materials. But I'd got this thallium, I think it was, or whatever. But you saw it earlier in the list, and that was all I needed. I think I traded up about 20 of those, and I don't need them for any engineering, so it's absolutely fine. I think they're only used, I did check, they're only used on either I think it was particle accelerators or railguns, one of the two. So let's just refuel. So first things first, we are going to remove the mod on the pulse laser, because Brew is the pulse laser guy. You can go to the Dweller up to grade 4, but in order to get grade 5 you need Brew. And Brew, I'm sure Brew was the one, it was an absolute arse to get, because to unlock Brew I had to unlock Quent, and to unlock Quent I had to unlock somebody else, and they wanted something insanely stupidly rare as payment to get introduced, and it was just like, ah. But I did that a couple of months back. I think it was back in December I did that. So hard points, 3E pulse laser modifications. This pains me to do this. Thing I learned, by the way, the reason why I'm going for overcharged, oversized. I was going for emissive because I read the description. It says causes strikes to envelope the target in energetic particles, significantly amplifying its signature. I read that as significantly increasing damage, and I don't know why I read that, because it doesn't say that, but that's what I had inferred from it at the time. So of course all of my weapons are emissive, and it turns out all it's basically doing is painting your target in neon paint. So if you were playing PvE and somebody drops into silent running, they drop off the radar. Now they don't drop off the radar. But when you're playing private group or solo, which I almost entirely do, NPCs don't ever go stealth. They don't ever drop to silent running. So it's completely useless as an upgrade. So that was a good thing I learned over the weekend in doing some research. But here we go. Yes, permanently remove. It takes all these fancy bits off, and out pops stock unit that looks exactly the same. So, Engineers Workshop. Right, grade 3 pulse lasers. So, yes, I'd like to engineer that. So, overcharged. So we've got to start from grade 1, as you know. Nickel 67. What we're trying to do is unlock grade 2. Oh, we got grade 2. That's good. So now we need nickel and conductive components. I'm glad I've got a lot of them. Haven't unlocked level 3 yet, so let's keep going. It keeps jumping. Craft higher grade blueprints. You need enough engineer reputation. Yeah, working on it. Okay, so now we've got number 3, so that's going to give us a boost. So now we're into using nickel conductive components and electrochemical arrays. Negative effects, yeah, that's understandable. Oh, so glad that not seeing that random spinning wheel of fortune. That was, you do it and you think, I could just get a little bit better on the next roll, and it'd go and drop all the way back down. No fun at all. Right, grade 4 again. There we go. So we're coming up to grade 5. So we have grade 5 now. Right, so I've got plenty of these. So we're definitely going to be able to max out the what's it? I've no idea what my damage is now. It's up, what, 20? It's up 70%. You shitting me? Really? Good God. Come on. Don't give me a little... Last one. Last 2. There we go. That's max. Do you see it go all scrambly in the thing? So that's been completed. So we've completely god-rolled the pulse laser, which I'm excited about. Now, what I wanted to do was oversized, and I have enough. Brilliant. So, scaled up components, reinforced musician. Reinforced musicians. It's like the Beatles in body armor. Reinforced munitions. Housings allow the weapon to pack more of a punch, increasing damage at the cost of increased power draw. Don't mind the increased power draw, because it's really the only laser weapon, it's the only energy weapon that I'm using. So, boom! So what have we got? So that upped the damage per second to 25.9. I suppose I should have looked at what it was on before, when I started, because that would have been a smart move. But there we go. So that is that done. That's super. And you never lose the grade now. It's not like we're burning reputation to get extras. So that is that's super duper, that we can always come back with any ship and get all the way up to grade 5 pulse lasers, no problem at all. So the next chap on the list is, let's come out of that and let's go to engineers. Oh, I've got a fault with my throttle. My dear old X55 Satec throttle. The wires going from the throttle handle down into the throttle base. I think one of the wires or a couple of the wires are starting to work loose, as they always do. You know, there's plenty of videos and stuff on the internet about it. Because the little up-down rocker switch, which you can't see, but it's just on the left back of the switch. I use it for going to left screen or right screen. and it only goes to right screen if I push the throttle forwards a smidge to sort of reconnect a wire that's maybe bent out of place. So that's fine in space or in dock like this, but when you're on the ground in an SRV trying to line something up precisely, it's not good when you have to go throttle up and it goes careening off a cliff. So I think I'm going to have to take this apart and get the soldering iron on it, or probably redo all the wires entirely, in fact, in this, because I've seen inside them and they're not cleverly thought out, and there are ways of doing it better, but they were saving money, I guess. So, rant over. Engineers, we need to go to, I'm just going to check on Inara. So Inara, I-N-A-R-A. If you search Inara Engineers on Google, it's actually inara.cz is the web address. It's an excellent resource for all things engineer, components, where to find them, what they're used for, what you can use for synthesis, all sorts of things like that. All the experimental effects. It's been totally updated for version 3. And so, yeah, excellent resource. The other one I mentioned earlier is EDDB, which I think is eddb.io, but it might not be. But if you Google it, you'll find it. That's a great place for finding what's near me, or something near something. Like I used it when I was planning to come down here. It was like, okay, well, what stations are nearby that have shipyards, for example, because if I needed to call a donor ship, I was going to call my Freewinder from Jameson's and have it delivered, because it's got just basic weapons on it, and I could have just upgraded anything on it to get some reputation. So yeah, EDDB, excellent for stuff near things, basically. And then the other one that I'm sure everybody uses it now is Coriolis.io, and that's the ship designer. So you go in, you pick the ship you want, and it's got all the stats, all the stock stats on screen, and you can say, excuse me, hang on. That's better. So you can say, let me compare an FGS against, you know, how much is it going to cost me to do this to it? What weapons benefits am I going to get if I do that to it? It's really cool. Excellent. It's where I go to design all of my ships initially, and then sort of finesse it on the game later on. So we need Todd the Blaster McQuinn, and he is in Wolf 397. So we can actually do this on here. There is Todd the Blaster McQuinn. He's grade 3, like the other one. So we are going to go to a system view. Trophy camp. Set the course. How many jumps are we talking? 19! God almighty! Okay, this is going to be unfunny. I even stripped this down. I took a load of the hull plating and whatnot off it just to lighten it up. So what I'll do is I'll start jumping and then stop the video, and then we'll rejoin things when we get to Todd's place. What I might do is try the laser out and see what it looks like once we get out the no fire zone. 19 jumps though, jeez. Anyone would think I've got economical jumps turned on. No, definitely haven't.
Landing gear retracted.
Procedure complete. Clear for departure.
Here we go. Let's see if we get any texture popping. Oh, I have got me up down keys mapped. That's dumb. Never mind. So yeah, I said earlier about overcharged multi-cannons. Exactly the same set of components needed, like for like, across them and the pulse lasers. So we're going to be updating one of them, and then we'll have the reputation to just top up the other weapons. So there's, oh, we've got a seam. Oh, you can see the mouse pointer because I've clicked out the game window. So there's a seam line there, but that's fair enough, I suppose. Planet looks good. Oh no, there we go. A little bit of popping. So I guess I've just been lucky, or maybe it's something that it doesn't do on the way in to planets, but it does do it on the way out because it expects you to be looking in that direction.
Frameshift drive
Right, let's get going.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
How far down past the edge of the planet is it? It's far enough. Right, so we'll just get some height, get out from the planet's surface, and then turn round. So I heard today from Obsidian Ant's video that skim emissions have been completely removed from the game temporarily, so that they can investigate things that happened over the weekend. I honestly don't see a problem with it. If people want to make money in the game, they can make money in the game. If people want to play the game and you know, scrat around looking for bits and bobs on planet surfaces and occasionally come across a modified embedded firmware or whatever it happens to be, fair enough. You don't have to play the game that other people are playing. You can go at your own pace. Solo makes that perfect. You know, I love the idea that I can just play the game my way, and if I want to dip in and do a bit of dangerous player-on-player stuff, then that's fine. If I want to just, you know, play on my own and just go off and do rank progression and what have you, I can do that. So right, I'm going to seamlessly join this.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
As you'll see, seamless. Right, let's get back into this. We are heading towards Todd's Planetary Engineering Station.
Fuel scooping complete.
19 jumps, uneventful. Didn't even fly into a sun, which is a good start. So what have we got here? 127 light seconds, so we'll be there in no time. And then, what was I talking about all that time ago that you didn't just have to watch? The skim emissions, gold rushes and things like that. Yeah, Obsidian raised a good point the other day in one of his videos where he said he doesn't think that them being there is the issue. It's just how you know, how people play the game, I suppose, is the issue. If what you want to do is, you know, let's say if you rate success on how much money's in the bank, then these sorts of missions are ideal for you. If you rate success on your rank, you know, your triple rank in the game, then it doesn't really affect that directly. But having the money certainly gives you the flexibility of upgrading a ship, which you can then take into a HAS-Res or a CNAV or whatever. And so, especially if you're playing solo, I mean, who else are you hurting? It doesn't really matter. It's a bit like getting a game like Minecraft where, you know, you've got sandbox mode and you can just go and do your own thing, and then just only playing it one way when you really want to explore that game a different way. And if it lets you explore that game a different way, what's the harm? But in open, it can shift advantages and things like that, so I suppose there's a certain amount of a question mark over the top of it, but it shouldn't be that much of an issue. You know, whether you're ferrying passengers for ridiculous rewards to Hutton Orbital or whatever it happens to be, or you're destroying skimmers, or you're you know, what was the other one we had? Oh, I forget now. But there's always been a gold rush, if one thing or another, and then, you know, they nerf one and another one's discovered. That was a ship that just came past us. I don't know if you caught that on the video. I'll try and do like an instant replay, but I'm pretty sure that was a ship that just hurtled past us, based on the radar as well. Let's have some lights. I don't think it's going to do much at this altitude, but we'll give it a go. And after all these upgrades have been applied, it's a case of heading back to Jameson's and putting all of the bits that are stripped off the ship. So a load of stored modules, hull reinforcement, module reinforcement, those sorts of things. Putting them all back on. Stripping the fuel scoop off because I don't need that, because the ship only really ever goes one jump over. That's coming in a bit firm. Oh, there we go, that's better. There we go. I did. Thank you. I was going to do it anyway. Although trying to land on a pad where you haven't got docking clearance doesn't end well. Oh. Right, come on then.
Landing gear deployed.
There we go. We are down. Oh, I just had a mini panic then. I thought, no shipyard, but it's outfitting over here. Right then. So, we need to strip the modification off that. Go on then. There we go. And then Engineer's Workshop. So, level 3, multi-cannons. So will it let me? No. So this was the error I had yesterday when I raced over to Brew hoping that it would work. And it says, legacy modification can't be converted, engineer grade too low. Because I'm a grade 3, which it says somewhere over here behind this. And this is a grade 5. So we want overcharged weapons. Bit of nickel. Bit of nickel. Did that? Yeah, that offers us upgrade 2. Generate. There we go. Okay, grade 3. Grade 4. Well, we've unlocked grade 4 with him, just not on the mod. That would have done it though. Right, so we're up to the grade 4. Oh yeah, this is the zinc one. So this is what we should get to with the others once we've got there. So we've got grade 5 access now, so that's fine. So basically got it. Oh, we've got grade 5 access. We haven't got grade 5 with this yet. Here we go. That should do that. And then whap that on there. It's always the last couple. There we go. 3. So, there's another one. There we go. Numbers went. Are you kidding me? Right. Okay. That used way more than I wanted. But we are now grade 5 access. So if we come back here, maximum grade reached. So now, see, this is upgraded with the current engineering system. These were all upgraded with the old version. So now what we've got to do is we've got to convert it over, and it's come through as grade 4 complete. So we've only got to do the grade 5s. I want a couple of clean runs on these, please. None of that silly 5 goes for the last few pixels. Oh, excellent. That's what we wanted. That made up for the last one. So, convert it over. I'm super cautious of modified embedded firmwares, because they ain't so easy to get now. Oh, that was a poor roll. Ooh, last one. Excellent. Back. Multi-cannons. Convert. And then we'll go back and do the experimental modules, experimental features, experimental effects afterwards. Oh, that was another poor roll. And another one. And another one. Oh, come on, don't mock me. I'm paying you. I'm paying you in tiny, small fragments of materials. Right. Another one. So we've got, what, 2 weapons left to do? 41? I think we're in the clear. He says. Getting a world record 27 miniature rolls, one after another. Oh, that was good. I'll have to keep mocking the RNG on this. It's going quite well. That's got to be it. No, last but one. Yes. Last weapon. I'm actually going to have bits left over. Because I suppose the next thing to try and do is thrusters. Definitely thrusters. And I need to Whoa, that was a massive roll. Thrusters, and I need to re-engineer my shield boosters. I've got... what do they call them now? It's like... I know I've seen boss cells are the new feature, which are like massive charge, massive boost on it. But I want to get those re-engineered as well. I haven't even looked at what materials are needed or anything on that. So did we just god roll every weapon on this ship? We've done the pulse laser. We've done the multi-cannons. They're all overcharged. So now we've got to put experimental... Oh, we can't do experimental effects. Why not? Ah, okay, fine. Experimental effect. We want oversized. What's that going to do to it? Plus 3%, plus 3%. We can afford it. What? Hang on, we need 6. Yes, we can still afford it. Back. That one. Experimental effect. Oversized. Back. That one. Experimental effect. Oversized. I don't think I played about with the experimental effects last time. Or no, I did, but I'd set them all to emissive, and as I said, it's completely pointless in solo. So back. Multi-cannons. Which one? That one. Generate. Oh, no. No, I keep thinking I've missed one. Oh, that's fine. Back. Experimental effect. Back. Experimental effect. Right. Have we done them all? I believe we have. Right, so first one. Yep. Second one. Yep. Third one. Yep. Fourth one. Yep. Fifth one. Yep. Sixth one. Yep. We've done it. We've engineered all of our weapons. There we go. All of our weapons. So I suppose the next thing is we're going to need to test them. So for that, what I'll do is I'll fly back to Jameson's, kit the ship back out, and take it out to a CNAV and do a follow-up video on that. But there we go. That was upgrading your ship with me, Commander Bunglebear. If you liked it, stick a like. If you didn't, stick a dislike. I don't mind. If you got anything to ask, say, question, drop it in the comments. I'll answer them as best I can, and I will see you on the next one. So for now, see ya.